Well, there has been some movement in the portal, outward bound. It involves one that we expected and one that is a surprise but probably shouldn't have been. And before I get to those, here's the usual. Please click the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Make comments. Help me out with the algorithm. Share. Tell your friends. And I believe there is now a link on the channel homepage if you want to do things like help with today's vet bill. It's been quite an experience. Meanwhile, Andrew Wilson Lamp has entered the portal as expected. It's a bit of, I suppose, a tragic story. He seemed to have all the talent in the world and could not get his head together. Played his way onto the starting team for Penn State and played himself right off again. About halfway through the season, I asked about him on the Kegler show, and Coach Brown praised his work on special teams, did not mention cornerback. And I suppose the fact that he ignored that part of my question sent signals. Wasn't clear at the time. It is now. And after that, Wilson Lamp started to screw up on special teams too. So I don't know what his deal is. I hope he gets his act together, but it will be someplace else. The surprise, not surprise, is Hershey McLaurin, who has entered the portal. And it's a surprise because you kind of think of him as being this really good player, which was the expectation. And the beginning of the year, he made some really good plays. But if you start looking, that didn't keep happening. You weren't hearing him mentioned, and it was partly because he wasn't making plays and he wasn't on the field. His playing time started to decline and was getting low by the end of the season. Even after Dixon was suspended, McLaurin did not pick up those snaps. They were going, well, not really so much to Stokes, who was probably already out the door, some to Collins, and a lot to Floyd. And the defense really was more dynamic when Floyd was on the field, which may have given the coaches some ideas for the future, maybe using guys already on the team or coming in, or maybe part of what they're looking for in the portal is somebody who will do more what Floyd was doing. Collins, it's still not clear just what his ability is going to be. He right now is, I think, the only spear on the roster. It's also possible they'll move Cobb to spear. That's where the media expected him to play. Might be where the coaches expected him to play before they decided to move him to safety. But we'll see how he comes back from that injury. So McLaurin looks surprising, looks like a big loss, but I don't think he is. Something went awry, and his trajectory switched from up to down, and it did not correct during the season. Hopefully he can find it someplace else as a graduate transfer. Also, other news. I've got, I think, 7 guys now who've announced that they have signed deals with Country Roads Trust, which is a way of saying they intend to be around for 2024. Not a guarantee, but let's say a strong likelihood. It's very good news. These are some big-time players. And a lot of fans, instead of enjoying this, are worrying about guys who haven't announced. Oh my goodness, if these guys have announced, why hasn't this guy, or this guy? Well, it may be they haven't worked out a deal. It may be they don't feel like announcing. They also can be working on deals with people other than the trust. It is not required that the trust is where they make their name, image, likeness deal. So let's enjoy. Yeah, there are a few guys who are probably going to be gone. Not a lot. Some guys that, yeah, I don't think there's any way they leave. We'll see how that plays out when it happens. Meanwhile, lots and lots and lots of offers going out. Still mostly the same positions. We have, though, now I offered a couple of offensive linemen, and these are going to all levels. I mean, P5, not Pop Warner, but pretty darn close. And that's not a problem. We are offering very good players, guys who are highly rated, guys who are getting offers from top teams, top programs. Now, odds of getting some of these guys, of course, yeah, it's low. So it's also part of why you send out a lot of offers. Another factor, a Power 5 guy is going to want more money most of the time than a Group of 5 or Division II player. And some of it is going to come down to finances. That's all there is to it. Especially if it is a guy that you're hoping to develop over the next couple of years. But if you've got starting quarterbacks from Power 5 teams who are in the portal. They're not going to come cheap. And they may not be worth what they cost, especially if it's a one-year deal. You've got some of these guys who came out of high school big time, had injury problems or something else, but their star potential may, affect the market. And you want to get the best player you can that fits your team and your needs, but you don't want to overpay. It sucks that that's a thing now, but you don't want to overpay. We've got Fabianich in there now. This is part of his job. Finding these guys, vetting these guys, getting them in. There's a plan in place. I think we will do better this year than last year. We did pretty well last year, and it was better than the year before. So I think we will see growth in how we handle the portal. And success breeds success if you do it right. So we've got activity going on, a lot of motion. That's kind of like the pre-snap stuff, in a football game. Right now, we've got a lot of shifts in motion, and we haven't snapped the ball yet, but that's coming. I'll be back to talk about it when we get more motion and shifts, and when we get an actual play here or there, and eventually to talk about the bowl game. In the meantime, oh heavens, do I have things I should be doing. So I'll see you later.